Hello everybody and welcome back to Zen ASMR. In today's video, we're going to be going ahead and completing the second swatch card for this 48 color marker set. This is going to be part 2, so if you're interested in part 1, it's going to be in the description box below, so you can go ahead and see how we did the first one. So we have this beautiful marker set, and this is the second swatch card that we're going to go ahead and complete on this nice thick cardstock paper, and we're going to go ahead and complete the last 24 so we can go ahead and have our completed swatch cards to better color coloring books and things like that. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and start with the first row, and I'll do the rows this way. So the first shade on here is RP1 in a vivid reddish purple. Very interesting shade name there. So we have it right up here on the front, and we're going to be using the fine side, of course, to get a more accurate color on there and not have me bleed it all over the place. So RP1 in vivid reddish purple. I'm going to go ahead and color this one in and see how this looks. Nice. So we have our vivid reddish purple, and I think this is a very nice bold color to have on there. So then next we'll go with PB1 in sky blue. I love blue shades because there's really so many different shades in blue that I consider to be really nice. This is a beautiful color. This is as sky blue as it gets, definitely. I like that this one had an accurate shade name, and also it looked pretty similar to what it was on the cap. Very nice color here. So this is PB1 in sky blue. Put that back in there. So then we have PB2 in Brilliant Blue. Brilliant Blue. I think I'm definitely gonna like this swatch card better than the last one, just because of how many beautiful blue and bluish green shades there are. This one's a very deep blue. So PB2 in Brilliant Blue. That one's very nice as well. And this doesn't actually bleed that much, which is good, so I didn't have to put the plastic protector that comes with the markers on behind it. Because if not, it would kind of bleed through and get on the mat here, so glad that we don't have to do that for this one, but definitely for coloring books you would have to do it for, because if not, it'll definitely ruin the page behind it. So yes, definitely that. Next shade is PB6 in Royal Blue. Royal Blue. Should definitely, I just always tend to paint my nails blue. It's just, I have so many different shades, like honestly these different shades here and probably the remaining ones, I have them all in like a polish color, so clearly I have a preference for those. Wow, Royal Blue. This one is awesome. Love this one. You're gonna hear me saying I love this one for almost every color, because I don't know, I think they're all very nice in their own way. So we have PB7 in Pastel Blue right up here in the front. So we'll go PB7 in Pastel Blue. Very accurate name there. Very cute baby blue color. And I really am trying my best to not go outside the lines, but sometimes it's hard. So PB7 Pastel Blue. Peanut butter. Speaking of peanut butter, I actually have never tried crunchy peanut butter. I've only had the smooth kind. So I've been wanting to try a crunchy version of peanut butter. I feel like I would like it because I don't hate peanuts themselves. They're okay, but they're not necessarily out of all the different types of nuts like cashews and stuff like that. Peanuts are definitely not the ones I would go for, but since I really like peanut butter, I would consider trying a crunchy one, so definitely want to try that. Pretty random, but something that popped into my head. Okay, so then we have PB8 in Cerulean Blue, or Cerulean Blue? Cerulean. I think that's the way you'd say it. Cerulean Blue. blue. This one's a nice like in between of these two shades, I feel. And I feel like it also has kind of maybe some sort of like green undertone. Call me crazy, I'm not an expert nor an artist, so some people could probably be cringing right now, but that's okay because we're just here for relaxation and just enjoying coloring, as it does remind me of my childhood. I would always have coloring books, whether it was like Disney ones or like Sanrio coloring books, just everything, or also coloring pages, like just printing out a copy of like something on like the Disney Channel website, or what it used to be. I forgot, Playhouse Disney is what it used to be called. And they would just have like printable coloring pages, and I would just run up the ink on our printer when I was younger, because I would always be printing coloring pages like crazy. And you might be familiar with how much ink does cost for a printer. It kind of amazes me that it's actually that pricey for it being like an item that maybe not everyone has, I guess, because it's for very specific purposes. A printer, like you might use it like just a few times out of the year, but yeah, was printing coloring pages like if it was free. So definitely remember doing that, doing the coloring with these markers, because I've actually never colored with these markers. It would just be with any like Crayola markers and stuff like that. So this is fun and kind of like the adult version of coloring, so it's pretty fun. So next we have PB9 in Cloud Blue. We're already in mid-February, and I feel like the weather is so all over the place everywhere. Let me know how the weather is where you guys are, if it's snowing like crazy. Maybe you live in a hot place where it doesn't snow. But I do really enjoy snow activities like skiing and snowboarding, even though it's not necessarily the most accessible thing to do, and it's also it's a pretty expensive thing, but that's pretty fun as well. And at least one good thing that comes out of the winter time if you do enjoy doing that. So P9 in Cloud Blue. This one's very cute. It's like almost like a teal, so we're kind of already kind of blending into more of the green shades. You can kind of see it over here. We have quite some green shades, so let's go ahead and continue. So we have PB10 in Turquoise Green Light. Ooh, this is a beautiful color. Let me know if you guys do like fabric sounds and things like that. I'm not necessarily super fond of it, I guess you can say, at least personally, but I'm willing to. It's not bad to do, especially with like shorter nails. It's actually pretty nice. I feel like tapping can be effective with both like long acrylic nails and also short nails. So I'm glad that it's not like you have to have super short nails or super long nails to go ahead and be able to tap on things or scratch on things for ASMR purposes and things like that. So turquoise green light. That's a beautiful shade. You're gonna be hearing me saying that about most of these. So next we have BG1 in turquoise green. So a deeper version of PB10. BG1. Wow, this is a very deep color. Maybe it'll lighten up as we continue with the swatch, but it is very dark. So turquoise green. You can kind of tell better on camera of the color. In person it's a little more dark, but it is a beautiful shade for like coloring grass or something like that. I'm not sure what else. Off the top of my head, different flowers, still in that type of realm of things, but it's a very nice color. But this one is significantly lighter, so I guess calling it light at the end is a pretty accurate description. Maybe even a little, could be a little more not as light, I guess, to be more similar to that shade, to be considered a lighter version. But anyway, we have next G1 in emerald green. I love emerald. It's a beautiful stone. That deep green color is so different. And out of emeralds, rubies, and sapphires, I truly don't know which one I do like the most. I think my least favorite would be rubies, just because I don't really gravitate towards the color red, I guess you can say, too often. I do like, as you guys can see, the blues and greens for sure, but I think maybe out of the three I would pick emeralds. Quite a beautiful stone. So emerald green doesn't get more traditional than that. Nice. G1, good way to start the green series. So I guess BG might mean like kind of like a blue green. I don't know, could be completely wrong in that regard, but just a guess. So then we have G2 in vivid green. Vivid green. G2. And I really like doing these swatch cards with like natural lighting and not the artificial lighting shining on it, because it gives you a better representation of like what the color actually is. Because like a warm or cool tone light, like a yellow or white light on top, could not give as good of a representation of the actual color itself. Vivid green, I think that's an even better shade for now as we're completing the greens, a better shade for like coloring like grass or something like that, because this is still like on the deeper side, closer to blue, which turquoise I guess is the combination of the two to a certain extent. So that's actually a very beautiful color. I do see myself using this a lot. Definitely think that might be done there. So Next we have G5 in turquoise ink blue. Turquoise ink blue. So let's see what color that should look like. Ooh, this is kind of almost like a grayish looking one on the outside. Combination between gray and blue, maybe. This is a beautiful shade. I really like this one. I need this in a nail color, a polish color for sure. Looking very deep on the paper. Let's see if it changes at all when we go ahead and fill this out. So G5, filling in very nicely. It's definitely closer to the turquoise green, but it's a very, very nice color. It's like cool but deep tone. I don't know. But we have a very nice flow of how the colors are developing here. And compared to the previous one, which you guys can see here. So I guess this kind of flows. This is very like, doesn't go with any of the other shades on here so far. So I guess maybe if you put it like this, maybe they look a little more similar. So this is kind of the swatches we're working with right now, and the flow of colors. I think this is a very, very nice variety of like different colors, and a lot in each different, I don't want to say spectrum, but I guess a spectrum of colors. A lot of different ones. So there's like a good amount of pinks, good amounts of blues and greens. Not many yellows. I will say that there's like 2 yellows, but I'm sure some of these, yeah, this one's called yellow green, so I'm sure it's gonna be closer to that yellow part. So that will be nice to go ahead and have a few more colors in yellow. Next we have G8 in glass green. Glass green right here up front. Wow, this one's very light, almost like not as how would I say this, pigmented. That's the word I was looking for. Not as pigmented as the other ones. It almost seems like more of like a watercolor. But there we have a G8 in glass green. I am obsessed with how this flow is going with the greens. They look amazing. So next is GY1 in pale green. Almost like a pistachio-y green. I recently started liking pistachio ice cream. I had never tried it before, but I had tried it and I absolutely loved it. And actually, I'm not sure if you guys have tried them, the Yasso Greek yogurt bars, the frozen yogurt bars. You can get them at like any grocery store, I think. Those are delicious, and in the pistachio flavor, it does have like little chunks of actual pistachios in it, and it's super, super good. So I guess you can't say I've tried the ice cream, since it is Greek yogurt. It would be frozen yogurt, but I think it tastes better that way. So colored it in a little much. It was showing very nice on the light edge, but very much of a nice light pistachio greenish. So next we have GY2 in grass green. Okay, maybe this would be an even nicer color for coloring in grass and things like that. I mean, it literally says it in the name. Let's see if this is close. Very nice fill here. Getting a little neater, maybe, if I don't get outside the line there. So grass green, GY2. Yep, that is a good grass color, that's for sure. This is, now as we keep going, I'm noticing the differences in each shade and stuff like that. So this is very much like more blue and then still transitioning into that nicer green, true green shade. Cut. So then next we have GY3 in Bud Green. Bud Green. Very nice. There's a lot of greens in here, that's for sure. I think there's more greens than any other color in this set, that's for sure. So, interesting note there. So next we have GY4 in yellow green. So this is kind of like that in-between shade that I was talking about earlier. Kind of like a neon-y highlighter type shade. Yeah, it's definitely more on that side of things. It's not as pigmented. It's more like light, maybe like a watery, watercolor looking consistent. Well, I don't want to say consistency, but the way it feels when go ahead and draw it. It seems to blend almost like seamlessly. This would be a very nice like blending shade maybe. Going ahead and doing that. This yellow green would be perfect for like a moss like look on like a tree or a window or something like that. So it would be a beautiful shade for like a moss. That's kind of what I'm imagining when I see this. So we have GY5 in absinthe. Hope I'm saying that kind of right. And this is gonna be probably one of the last green shades, because everything else seems like it'll be a little different based on the shade names. So GY5, a lot of G's. So this one, an absinthe. Imagine I'm saying it completely wrong. That'd be pretty funny. But I don't know how other way you could say it, to be honest. Very, very nice. I'm obsessed with this color swatch, definitely a lot more. Then we have a GY6 in anise. Definitely more in that yellow shade, but I can see how maybe it might be a little similar to green. But being similar to that yellow, I feel like it should have been on the other swatch card. But I'm sure there was a reason. And it's a very nice color. So it seems like we're kind of done with the greens over here, because we're transitioning now to the darker shades. We have WG01 and warm gray 1. Okay, so it seems like there is more than one grayish tone, which is interesting. So here we have the first one. WG01, very thin color as well, more on like that watercolor side that I was mentioning. Warm gray 1, very interesting color. I think this will definitely come in handy. WG01. So next we have CG2O or IIO. Interesting. Okay, I think that's an I. So CGII00 in cool gray. Interesting shade name as well. Oh wow, this one's very, very light, almost kind of transparent, but I'm sure this will also come very handy when doing coloring pages and things like that. It's such a cool gray that it is almost white on there. So I'm assuming now we'll transition to darker because we're gonna end with black over here. So we have cool gray II4, and yes, this does seem like a darker color, but let's see once it's swatched. Yep, definitely he completely flipped and went to a much darker gray. And out of the color gray, that is definitely the type of gray that I would have thought of. So moving on, we have CGII7, our second to last color. This also looks like a very nice gray. Let's maybe a little lighter, or I guess darker, because we're getting close to black. So yes, definitely a deeper color here, closer to black. I would say this is deep gray. Wouldn't necessarily call it a cool gray, but very nice shade there. Cool gray. Last but not least, we have our last shade to complete our color swatch card and all the cards, both of them. We have shade 120 in black. Definitely a very deep, I would say, I don't know if onyx is considered like the deepest shade of black, but it does look very, very true to the color name. It's not like a thin color or kind of like on those watercolor type shades I was mentioning. Definitely a true shade for that. And I love how cool gray is almost like a white in a marker, which is very hard to get, but you can definitely see the difference between that and then the actual color of the cardstock. So we have gone ahead and finished both of our swatch cards. I'm so happy with how this turned out. This is a beautiful range of colors to work with in the upcoming videos of coloring, different coloring pages and things like that. So definitely stay tuned till my next videos come up with the coloring book pages, and we'll definitely be using these markers. So if you want to see that, you can definitely subscribe down below, leave this video a like, and if you stayed till the end of the video, let's go ahead and see if you guys would like to leave a crayon or a marker. Let's do crayon, even though these aren't crayons. Let's do like the crayon emoji in the comments down below to let me know you stayed till the end and that you enjoyed. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.